So welcome to the first part. In this part, we're going to cover the low poly modeling of our vase. First step, I'm going to go to my panel layout, and I need to import an image on my image plane. So that's going to be in view image plane, import image. Have one right here, and pressing spacebar. My grid is set up to meters, so right now I have grid lines every meter. So if I change this to 2 meters, you can see that in X I got 2 meters and Z I got 2 meters. Yeah, so those are lighter, and the darker ones are the subdivisions. So subdivisions is going to be each meter divided by 10 equals 10 centimeters, one subdivision. So I'm going to scale my vase to be roughly 20 to 30 centimeters. So if I go to here, I can see that it's even bigger. So it's going to be 25, roughly 25 centimeters. That's just like a reference. So okay. So we just need to create a curve. Right now we're going to use some curves. So if we go to curves and surfaces, we got some curves here, but it's not all of them. If we go to curve tools, we get the CV and EP. I think EP is already present there. Oh, I see. CV is up there as well. But let me show you how to make a shortcut. So we go to curve tool, create curve tool, and using Control and Shift, clicking on these two, it's going to add them here in your current tab. Yeah, so I was in curve surfaces, added these two. I'm just going to delete these two because they're repeating. So I'm going to use this create curve, probably this one. I'm going to try and make this transparent. Let's see if the X-ray works. It doesn't work with the this image plane. Okay, I need to put it behind the grid, so I see the grid, so I just placed it behind the grid. So basically this is the front. Okay. Maximizing this with the space bar. I'm going to try to use the CV curve tool first. And I need to put more points. I'm going to use backspace now. So that's backspace to go back in time. And the top should be flat. I mean, this is like this is a perspective. Yeah, we need to think about that. So I add more points in this area and less points where I have flat surfaces. So I only need to make half of this. So I don't need to go all the way around. I just need to do half of this. At the same time, when I'm adding these points, I'm thinking where I will have geometry. Yeah, so I use Alt and middle mouse click, and then the Alt and right click to go in and out. So wherever I'm going to have a point, I'm going to have a line, edges. Yeah. So I'm planning these a bit carefully. depending if this asset is going to be for game or for a film, you might want to consider adding more of these points where it's needed, where it's more rounded. For example, okay, and the bottom, again, backspace. So let's just do backspace twice. So again, the bottom needs to be flat as well. Maybe just one. Okay, so when it's completed, if you press enter, we have this curve. If you press Control 1, isolate selection, you can see it here. We have the curve. So if you right click on the curve, or anywhere actually, Control Vertex, and we need to snap the vertices to the grid. So the grid is going to be here. I build it on the, I think this is Y. Yeah, that's the Y. So I built this close to the Y. So I'm gonna use W and then X. I'm gonna snap it to the grid. Yeah. Same with the bottom one. Okay. I think I remember something now. I made a mistake here and I forgot to. But it's a good mistake because we can learn from this. Okay, and we're gonna insert. I think it's curve point. Yeah, we're gonna insert because I want to have. Maybe we can just. I'm just gonna extrude it in the end. I'm just thinking away. But if you want to add more points after this, you just go to curve point and you click, and then you can use the shift. For example, if I want to add more points here, I use shift to add, and then using shift and right click, I insert knots, and now I have more of these points. Yeah, basically. Okay, so after I snapped these to the grid, again using X, yeah, I want to snap it here. You only want to snap it using this perpendicular on this line. So I snapped it, and now go to object mode, right click, object mode. And now I can go to the next step, and I'm going to create a Nurb surface out of this. And I think it's still here, yeah. I think it's called revolve. Yeah, that's the one that we want. We want to click on revolve. And revolve just did that. Now, right now, if we are going to convert this to a polygonal object, which let's just do that. Let's just modify, convert Nurbs to polygons. Yeah, Nurbs to polygons. And then this box, in this box here, we need to use control points and then apply. Yeah, so this is what happened. Now it's black because the normals are inverted, so we can just pressing spacebar, mesh display, and reverse. So that's reversed. Okay, so let's see how we can fix this because it still looks a bit squarey. We have this revolve, and we have these 8 sections. Yeah, so I'm now in channel box layer editor. Increase the sections maybe. I use middle mouse click and drag to the right or to the left. You clearly see now what's happening. So let's just increase the sections maybe to something like 20. Yeah, 20 is a decent number. So let's just do that. So right now, this is a copy of this, except it's polygons. Yeah, right now this is polygons, and this is Nurbs. We can actually edit these right now further if we want to. So we get this control vertex with these Nurbs, and we can just edit this. But I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so that's good. If we go here, we need to delete the history, or if we delete this one is not connected to the other one. So we're good. We're good to go now. Now let's just select these faces, and I use shift double click. And then I can use tab as well. Okay, scale this a bit more. And now with W, pressing W on move mode, I use shift and extrude down. You can use scale, again shift down, again scale with shift, move it down, Probably will not see the interior as much, but I'm gonna still go all the way down inside. Or if you want to, you can press 4 and see the wireframe, and then we can just pressing R and then shift, extrude it, and try to get something like that. Or the other way would have been to pressing 6, go back in time. The other way would be to just delete this completely. Then with the whole object selected, we extrude it, and let's try and extrude it on the like so. I think it's going to create some problems. I saw here with some created some problems in there. So I'm just going to leave it like that as it was. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just extrude it one more time here. Using tab. Using shift, W, shift, extrude it in. And then I'm going to select my edges, these edges here, all of them. So I shift double click, shift double click, shift double click on the next one, shift double click on the next one, and then shift right click by all of these edges. Maybe add a few more segments. Too many. Okay, so let's say it's okay, it's decent, it's not bad. Let's just add a small handle here. Just add a small handle. So we're going to extrude along a curve. So we're going to create a curve in that shape, and then we're going to extrude along that curve. Or I think we can use this loft. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to hide this curve, pressing H. I still have it here, it's just hidden, pressing H. I'm going to move this one dead in the middle, pressing X, snap to the grid. Again, I'm going to go to the front view. I'm going to disable this X-ray and making a handle maybe like that kind of shape. So we can draw actually. We have this grease pencil, a new frame. So we have one here, you see it's blue. And we are going to draw. I think because we have press Control 1, we don't see the grease pencil. So if we press Control 1, we're going to see it. Control 1. Let's just select this one. I don't have my Control Z is not working. It's working, Control Z. Must have been a glitch or something. Yeah, that should be good enough. So I draw it. Now I'm gonna use this create curve. Just click and follow that. And I get more points where it's more bendy. Pressing Enter, pressing spacebar and spacebar again. So that's. Now we can actually control vertex and move some of these around if we think that needs more editing. All these tighter. Okay, I don't need this. I'm going to hide it. So we got this one. Okay, so now I'm going to move it slightly forward. Control D and move another. Move it in the back. So I have these two both. So if I select these two, let's try and use this method. Yeah. It's called loft. So again, this is a Nurb. It's not really polygon, so we need to try edit that. Let me just go back. Translate. So Control D to duplicate. Yeah. And now I'm going to move them both here. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I like to be more precise with things. So with both curves selected, now we can use this loft. So I'm going to convert Nurbs to polygons. Again, I use this control points. and I use Control 1 to isolate this selection because I want to do some fixing here. Maybe get rid of these two for now. I'm going to add some later, but not now. This one, I'm going to bevel it. I use Control and middle mouse click here to select it, Shift right click, bevel edge, then Control middle mouse click, and if I want to add more settings here, object mode. Okay, so this is polygons, that's good. Now we want to add some thickness to this object. So using again with I'm in object mode, selected is green, and then I use Shift right click, extrude, and I can go negative or positive. And I think I'm going to go this way because in here is creating some problems. I might need to fix that later, so I'm just going to use it like that for now. Okay, object mode, and now excuse me mouse, and now inverse, again pressing spacebar, mesh display, reverse, mesh displays here as well if you want to. Okay, so that's good, that's one. Just going to use this Shift right click, multi-cut, holding both Shift and right click at the same time while I was in object mode, and then I have this I'm going to put in the middle. How did I do that? I use Control and Shift, and the same time press Control and Shift. Control is going to do loop all around, and Shift is going to snap. I'm going to do go on in the middle. If I double click on this edge, it selects all around, and I can bevel this edge. So I have two. I select these ones. So click once and then Shift, double click. Okay. Now I need to move these, but along the normals. Yeah. So right now it's in normal move. I think it's in world. So in order to get this menu, you use Control Shift right click, and I change from world. I change axis normal. Actually, I think I need to be in vertex mode. So let me just select these two vertices. Control right click, two vertices, and two vertices. Okay, and now again Control Shift right click, and I change from object to axis normal. So you see what normal does. It translates along the normals. Doesn't translate along anything else but the normals. Okay, just a little bit. And maybe these two lines. Maybe these need to be beveled or something. So if I press W, nothing shows up, is because it's set to normals, and we need to be in vertices to move the normals, not in edges. So right now, Control Shift, I'm going to change to object, so I see it now, yeah. But I'm going to just bevel this slightly, and I use Control middle mouse click. Okay. And then let's just press Control 1. See what happens here. I think this one needs to be maybe bigger or something. Just gonna delete history, freeze transformation. Just gonna make this. So you either do this, what I've done here, or you need to select the vertices and again inflate like this along the normals, yeah. Because mine was a bit too thin, so that's why I've done that. Pressing W, changing back. Control Shift right click here. Go to Object. I'm going to delete the old. Don't need that anymore. And the curves as well. Okay. Perhaps we can make it wider here. So let's go to Vertex. Select these two. Control Shift right. Control Shift double click. I use Control to remove from selection and Shift. Control Shift to add. Shift is adding and inversing the selection. So you see what it does. Control only removes. Control Shift only adds. With these selected, I use Control Shift, yeah, and then click on one and double click on the other. It's going to select all the loop around. Then I use B. B is soft select. So pressing B and then B plus middle mouse click. It changes the radius of that soft selection. So I want something like this. Then I use the scale to make that slightly, I said, wider. Yeah. Okay. So I think is decent at this point. Now, so this is our low poly version. It's kind of game ready. Just need to UV it, and then prepare another one for ZBrush. So we're going to have a different version exported to ZBrush. Yeah. So let's just finish right now with the. I'm just going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to open create another one. So just